Hey, how's it going? Wanted to chime in, had a little time to reflect now on this whole lab testing, the revelation that over 50% of the vape carts that are licensed, legal, and being sold at licensed dispensaries that are supposed to be lab tested, turns out that over 50% of them tested positive for pesticides and chemicals that should have failed lab testing. So if you're not aware of it, the LA Times piece that recently came out pretty much blew the roof off the illusion that the licensed lab tested cannabis products are actually truly safe and clean and pesticides free. So anyway, if you haven't seen that article, check it out. But I just wanted to share my thoughts real quick, and you know the format by now. Do this all in one take, no script, kind of ramble a bit, but for anyone who's interested, I'm just going to share some thoughts. This is a really vast topic that could be hours long, but I'm just going to share some things, and also about our product, Jade Nectar. So a lot of folks don't even know, because I never talk about it, because I feel creepy and weird and awkward, like trying to sell our product. I don't want to be a salesperson. So we kind of let our product just speak for itself. We're only in about between 20 and 30, I haven't even checked, dispensaries within Bay Area, and mostly locally here in Santa Cruz and Monterey, San Jose, but San Francisco up to like Sebastopol. Anyway, but this is what we actually do. We make these olive oil infusion tinctures, and here's our really trippy sativa blend that's made. This one's made with all Southeast Asian, like Thai and Vietnamese land races. It's really good. But that's what we do. And by the way, how we do this is, so we grow our own cannabis. We're a micro business license, I should tell you that. So a micro business license means that we're a small 10,000 square foot or less cultivator. Excuse me. And as you can see, right here is part of it. This is a beautiful Iranian landrace indica plant that's really starting to take off. So I'm the farmer. We grow our own cannabis. We have 10,000 square feet of canopy here, and then we can do our own manufacturing. So, and by the way, just FYI, I have personally made every single bottle of Jade Nectar tincture that's on the shelf, that's gone out there, and we're talking like hundreds of thousands of bottles now have gone out into the world, and people have consumed them, and it's just an honor for me to have been able to make those tinctures by hand myself in small batches and put those out into the world. And we work with a lot of wellness medical patients, like people who are dealing with cancer, MS, Parkinson's, Lyme disease, migraines, Crohn's disease, lupus, you name it. And so people are putting their trust in us and myself that when they consume our Jade Nectar tinctures and formulas, that it's going to actually benefit and be a positive thing to take into their body and hopefully help them, give relief, cure, and just help them in a positive way. And that's not something that I take lightly. And I'm a medical patient myself. I've said this a number of times, but I had chronic Lyme disease, and I was able to recover, fully recover, which is kind of unheard of. So we need more research on this. But by drinking raw cannabis juice for over a year straight, I can't say that's the only thing. I wouldn't say cannabis juice is a cure for Lyme disease. But it was a major part of sort of recalibrating and getting my immune system and everything back in balance. And I think it actually has really strong antimicrobial properties. So having that go through my gut for a year straight, I think it actually may have killed off the Lyme. But anyway, I can't prove it scientifically, but people need to look into that. Anyway, excuse me. And it turns out, sorry, I did have a little, I think I actually had COVID like 3-4 weeks ago, so I still have this lingering little tiny cough, but I feel 100%. Anyway, so getting back to lab testing. Now, so I'm involved with every process: cultivation, manufacturing, and then the distribution. That's what we do under our microbiz license. And that portion of it means that we actually arrange for the third-party laboratory to come up to our property, take random samples from the batches that we manufacture, and before that product can go out to stores, it has to get lab tested and then come back with a COA that tells all the cannabinoid numbers, but plus that it's actually clean and free of all these contaminants and pesticides and heavy metals and such like that. So that's part of our role. And then when we get that lab test back, so I arrange who we work with as a lab. And so I have a lot of experience working directly with a laboratory. Now, I need to tell you, and I'm not shilling for this lab, but I'm in Santa Cruz, and we have a lab called SC Labs, okay? So I'm going to show you this right here, SC Labs, and I'm going to click this. So this is the COA for our recent CBD, and you'll see it. I'm going to actually post some of our COAs so you can see them. I scratched out our address because I like you guys, but I don't want anyone coming and visiting this farm. This is not our public farm. And here's another SC Labs. The only lab we work with is SC Labs. One, because they're local, but two, a long time ago, I looked into other labs. This was like in 2018, 19, and I started getting these sales calls that would say, "Oh, who do you work with?" And I'd say, "SC Labs. I'm pretty happy with them. I mean, they've had a few little bumps, nothing shady, unethical, always accurate lab numbers. They always gave us the straight information, but they had a few logistic things a few years ago where the turnaround time was taking a little long. That was a little challenging for us. So, you know, as a business owner, you always look and see what else is out there. But immediately when I started talking to some of these other labs, their sales pitches would be, "Oh, hey, yeah, we'll test way higher for THC than SC Labs, and our pass rate is way higher as well." That was the sales call. They'd tell me that on the phone. So what that means is they're saying, yeah, if you work with us, we'll inflate your THC numbers to make it sound more potent than it really is, and we'll pass all your dirty shit. Like SC Labs, because they're a real legit lab who doesn't play games, you know, if you actually have pesticides, they'll fail you. They'll tell you your stuff fails. But these other labs would say, basically in coded language, they said, we have a higher pass rate, meaning we will pass your dirty shit. We will overlook the pesticides or whatever contamination. And so myself, I was so offended by that concept. First of all, because Jade Nectar, we create wellness products. So maybe I should just show you what we do. Most people don't even know on this IG channel, don't even know what we actually do. So anyway, we make these olive oil infusion tinctures. And what it is, it's just, we grow the cannabis, we dry it out, and then we just throw it in a big giant vat and dump or soak it in California olive oil that I get from a really cool olive oil farmer, and he mills his own oil in Paso Robles. And so he does really clean olive oil. So our whole process, there's no chemicals, there's no solvents. It's just cannabis, our own in-house cannabis that I grow myself, then soaked in olive oil, and then we just strain it. And if we're doing a decarb, you know, we heat it really slow and low to convert THCA to THC or CBDA to CBD, and that's it. This is the way they did it back 1,000 years ago, or even longer. And cannabis worked back then perfectly, and we're doing the same technique today. We don't use any lab equipment, solvents, or anything. We're food grade. We're all food. It's just olive oil and cannabis, all from California, all small farmer, and we always test clean. We've never failed a compliance test ever. In fact, we get none detected in every single category for pesticides, heavy metals, debris, whatever. We're always 100%. So we test cleaner than like organic baby food. I mean, there's nothing in our stuff, and I'm really proud of that, and that's where we want it to be, because I'm working with really fragile, a lot of times delicate people who may have some health issues. And so when the lab proposed that they could pass things that might be dirty, I was like, my God, man, if, heaven forbid, somehow some contamination got into a batch of our tincture somehow, again, has never happened, but I would want to know. I don't want to send out a product that's dirty that could put our medical patients and our consumers at risk. I would want to know that it fails, and I'd immediately remove that. And the last thing I want to do is hurt someone or poison someone or cause a negative issue from our product. So I want to actually know if there's a problem. But what these labs were telling me is, oh yeah, if you got a problem, no problem, we'll pass it and you can sell it, and who cares, the consumer, you know, that. And I'm not kidding, that is the state of mind out there. And now we're seeing the reality of that with this LA Times piece. That is what's going on. But SC Labs, and again, I'm not shilling for them, but the few times, this was back 2018-19, I tried one other lab for just like 2 weeks. And sure enough, their THC numbers were 20% higher, and they screwed a bunch of other stuff up. So I went straight back to SC Labs, and they've always been super pro. And by the way, they're one of the labs that was involved with the LA Times piece. By the way, SC Labs is not getting sued by everyone else because, yeah, they seem to. Again, I don't work there, but what they told me was they were just taking the long view of that. I don't want to speak for them, but what they told me was that eventually this whole house of cards of fraudulent lab results is going to come crashing down. And if you work with a bullshit lab, even if your product's clean, if that lab turns out to be, you know, involved in fraud, it may recall every single product that was ever tested through that lab to be retested. So it's just a mess. So I never wanted to deal with that. And again, I want true lab results. So anyway, I'm really rambling, but I wanted to show you something else that we do. This is our raw CBDA, and by the way, and then raw THCA, that now is this new hemp loophole. But I've been working with raw THCA. So this is just unheated whole flower THCA, THC cannabis, just soaked in olive oil. And it turns out that raw THCA is one of the most anti-inflammatory, and for certain types of pain is one of the most effective pain relief cannabinoids. And the cool thing is you actually don't really get very stoned from it. You can take about 10-15 times as much THCA as THC, and you'll get about the same effect. So you can easily take, if you're having like a back issue or such, you can actually take like 50, even 100 milligrams of THCA, and it'll just feel like you're taking 5 or 10 milligrams of THC. So you might, and you tend to just feel like you just got massaged for 5 hours and you just feel really relaxed. You're not like, your mind's not blown. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But I just wanted to let you guys know, and I'll post some of these. It's hard on Instagram to post a lab test just because lab results are like 5 pages long and it's all these numbers, and then they're also protected PDFs, so I have to do a procedure to like take a screenshot of it. But yeah, right here is our indica, our most recent indica, and right here, pass. And then and again, these are all SC labs, and this is one of the labs that is not getting sued, not having class action lawsuits, and was actually part of the lab testing for the LA Times piece as well. So they're a legit lab, and I'm just really proud that here in Santa Cruz we have one of the cool labs that seems to be doing everything right. So I'm stoked to work with them. And here's our sativa, again, SC Labs. That's all I work with, SC Labs. And they've always been good to me, and again, yeah, appreciate that. Here's our THCV, SC Labs, and what else? We're back to CBD. I can't, we have like 14 formulas. I can't pull out every one, but any consumers or anyone, if you want a copy of the COA, happy to send it to you, and you'll see in every single category, none detected, none detected, none detected. So it's not even that we get a little hit that just barely passes. It's just none detected. It's not even in there. There's not even a molecule of these contaminants or pesticides or chemicals. So anyway, hope that's helpful. And there's other things as far as solution oriented for medical patients coming down the pike that I'll do another post about that soon. But we may even try and work with some folks this year to do some sort of emergency bill, because right now, in light of the LA Times piece that showed all these contaminated products in the legal cannabis market, that means for medical patients, there's no guarantee any of this stuff is clean, and that's just heartbreaking. That is so wrong. And the DCC has actually allowed, enabled, and even almost appears to have colluded to allow this to happen, and that is so messed up on so many levels. So so at this point, somebody has to be the adults in the room. Someone has to step up and say the number one priority with cannabis and the whole cannabis movement is to prioritize and make sure the medical patients guaranteed have the cleanest, safest, most high-vibing quality medicine that they can access. So we're going to be looking into introducing laws and bills that can immediately address the medical patients, so they don't have to risk having contaminated product as medicine. And we have some ideas on how to do that. If any of y'all are interested in helping out and finding out more about that as well, I think it's time to take back this cannabis movement, turn it back to a caring, loving, compassion movement that puts the medical patients first as the cornerstone foundation, and then we can go have fun with our recreational stuff. But we got to take care of those medical patients first, make sure they have the cleanest, best quality medicine. So we're going to work to do that. And then once we get the medical patients taken care of, then we can go have fun with our recreational as well. but it's all medicine after all anyway. Anyway, hope that's helpful. That was long, but you know how it goes. All right, bye.